So it's 5:51 a.m. And yes, that's a crap ton of birds in the background that you're hearing. Believe it or not, this farm I live on would be a bird watcher's haven. In the morning, I in an hour's span, I hear no less than at least 15 different types of bird, just in the trees. We're not talking about ducks or anything like that. Beating around the bush aside, I've been struggling with figuring out something for the book. I mean, it's as simple as a paragraph, but it's also probably the most important. So, God, I keep beating around the bush. This is how uncomfortable this topic is for me. All right, so I lived with family. Family was verbally abusive. You see, I don't want to say like abusive, because yes, there was emotional and traumatic abuse. Okay, as somebody who knows psychology, I know that I'm not exaggerating at this. I just wrote out my life story reliving it. So I know what I just read in editing. There was trauma, and the trauma was justified, and then justified, and then justified, and then justified, because I lived it. I was there. But I wasn't physically abused in any way, shape, or form, unless I did it to myself. Uh, I was a rough kid. And I'm proud of it. Okay, I have arthritis and I earned it. And I ignore it for the same reason. But that doesn't change the fact that neglect is a form of abuse. Disregard is a form of abuse. Yeah, disregard is definitely a form of abuse that my family has in spades when it comes to me. I've told people for years that I'm the most unbelievable person in the world, or at least I must be, because nobody has ever believed me the first time I've said anything. Never. True story. Like when I said something that might be contrary or new, so novel, yeah, it was disbelieved at first, and even with proof, it's still been disbelieved by people in my family. There's an implicit bias against me. Okay, I'm weird. I'm functionally autistic. And if you think you have any idea of how pronounced my autism is, you have no idea. Why? Because I absolutely love psychology. Always have. The study of human behavior, humans were foreign to me when I was younger. And I wanted to figure out how they worked. And then I started studying and studying and studying. And I fell in love at a very young age, in fact. Or at least relative to, it's just kind of a calling to me. So, beating around the bush again aside, I've had a lot of neglect, disregard, and just wanton, reckless decisions that changed the course of my entire life. And I mean just reckless. And the family will justify it as, oh, well, you were bad this time, or those times. Yeah, you were bad. Yeah, I'm angry. Like, put it this way, both my sisters had help in going through college and setting up their careers, right? I was kicked out in the same conversation. I asked, hey, can I take a semester off of work? Like full-time work, full-time college, because I was running start. Like, there's a lot of anger, but keep in mind too, it was another action of disregard where other family members were enfranchised while I was disenfranchised. Okay, I mean, it's just the double standard my entire life. And I can prove it. That's the sad thing. Like, it happens so blatantly that I have evidence. And that's the problem. So the one thing I haven't really been talking about is, okay, number one, first off, I mean, part of me wants to tell you, tell you that better men than you have tried to take me down, because 99% of the time on this channel, I'd be right. You see, I just, it's not macho bullshit, but at the same time, it's still like being macho, you know what I mean? And that's because I'm feeling vulnerable. I'll tell you one thing, making these kind of videos, that's bravish. That's brave. Trust me. Trust me, especially if anything works. But that's the catch. Life has not worked. A lot. And a lot of what held me back, what held back a lot of potential, what caused years of struggle and just depression and all of that. Like my adult lifetime has been a consistent struggle. And I don't mean like, oh my gosh, we can't afford real meat, so we have to go get bologna. Like, I'm not talking those kind of first world struggles. I'm talking being homeless and negative 18 degrees in Southside Chicago with no heat for 2 days. Oof, that was fun. Um, I'm, I'm talking about losing some very important things to you, and families like, oh, boo. And they were the ones that did it, or at least had a huge influence into it. I tell people, it's not just one of you. One of you I can handle all day long. And I have. I've handled teams of you because I've had to. But when it's all day long, when it's back after back, and I've had that with family. Like some family, they've actually helped. They've actually had heart and spirit and all of that. But I can guarantee you I was a disappointment to my father. I guarantee it. But then again, if you read the book, you'll see why. I get it. And then he just gave up. He gave up, he pulled a power play. That was the first start of uniqueness. Being functionally autistic is not easy in and of itself. And I've had a hard-ass life. But yeah, neglect and disregard and the double standards and all of that, that is a form of abuse, whether family will say that or not. And they'll try to justify it. They'll try to justify it with, oh, but we gave you this one thing, or we did this one thing, or we kept doing this one thing. You know, it's always justified. Poor behavior is poor behavior, no matter how you spin it. You want to justify it with good behavior, play that karma law, weigh the scales. Doesn't change the bad behavior and the impact it has. I've had a hard life, and I am tired. I've lost literally every single thing that was important to me. Time and again, every single thing. But you just do what you do. It's reading the book of my life and editing is stoic. A lot happened. Believe me, if you think I'm overconfident right now in anything I'm saying, read the book. It's gonna come out. If you think I'm overconfident in anything I'm saying, read the book. Because I can prove every story. That's why I included every story. Remember, functionally autistic, we're good at puzzles. Every single story in that book, I have evidence to support. So, anyway, it's 6:30 in the morning, and I just went on a rant. And it is beautiful. Cold, beautiful. So, catch y'all later.